All right, y'all. Today we are sitting down with someone whose name is literally on the label, the legendary Mark Carter, the right-hand man Brian Booth, or Booth, as he goes by here. We're sitting here today at Old Carter Whiskey Company in the beautiful, stunning clubhouse here in Louisville, Kentucky. Just kind of hop right in. You've had success with, 25 years plus in wine and now getting back into the whiskey game all the way. Tell us a little bit about Old Carter and what it is for you and what itch does it scratch for you?
Well, I love flavor. And, whiskey's got great flavor. We're trying always to blend something special. The wine is great. We're still doing wine. I've got great guys there. They don't really need me much. So they said, go out and, do what you like doing. So I'm doing that with blending all these different batches of whiskey. And, it's been a while. We started Kentucky Owl, and that was back in 2012. So some of the techniques that we did back then, which was we were one of the first, I think, really to do some double barreling. All of the first 6 batches were double barreled. So I love that, and that sold. And then we moved on till Carter, and I've been having fun. We sold in 17, so our first batch really came out in 18. And we did 2 ryes, and we've done probably about 150 different expressions since then. A lot of single barrels and a lot of individual states that we have. We have these distributors, like that's what we're working on right now, is the distributor batches. Some take up 3 states, some take up 2, and some take up 1. So it's something I love. I love blending.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there like an aha moment where you're like, this whiskey thing's going to work for me?
You never know. You're only as good as your last batch. And I'll tell you, we always try to make a great batch. We're trying to outdo ourselves each time we make something with even more flavors. So you never feel, like totally, oh, we've got this made, even with the wine, you never know what Mother Nature's going to bring you, or what the weather or economics is going to add to your success or your demise.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ever changing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you met Booth here and maybe some of the other crew that's now on the new Old Carter.
Well, Brian, when we sold Kentucky Owl, we had some money. And we bought 2 buildings, actually, one in Lexington and one in Louisville. And we became good friends with Justin's House of Bourbon, and both Sloan and Thompson. And one of the guys that was there all the time working both places was Brian Booth. And we got to know Brian, and they were our next door neighbors when we opened up in Louisville, the Old Carter we used to bottle here, and then we kind of outgrew it, but we have a new location. But we'd go over and taste over at Justin's House of Bourbon and get to know Brian quite a bit. And so there was an opportunity that he would come over and go to work for us, and we loved what he does and all his knowledge on whiskey and rare whiskeys, and just also his how friendly he is with every person he meets. So it's a really important thing, and he's great with his hospitality and taking care of the club members up here. So
Yeah, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Man.
love Brian, and he's going to stay with me until I put water in any of my bourbons, whiskeys.
I said I'll be with him until one drop of water goes in that pot. And I'm out.
As soon as I cut, he's out of here.
Yeah. So all of our product, I really appreciate that. Thank you there, Mr. Carter. Yeah, no, I really enjoy, my role here at Old Carter. I'm building the club up still, with coming back and rejuvenating everything and creating and making those relationships last and, really do what I know how to do. And I think that's a good segue into this first little guy that we're sipping here. We all of our product is all Old Carter juice is it's all barrel proof. We never cut it with water. non-chill filtered. Every batch, whether it be a very small batch or a small batch, and is a double barreled, not double oaked, which means we put it in a brand new charred oak barrel with toasted heads. Okay. So I really want to, kind of, tell our kind of process on what that is. So when we get in original barrels, a percentage of those barrels get re-barreled into new charred oak barrels, 2, 3, 4, and 5 charred with toasted heads. So that gives that wine's our spice rack. That gives Mark what I like to call the old Carter process of him blending of craftness and something unique, to the market for our lovers of our whiskey.
Yeah, right. So obviously, Mark, you're a pretty bold guy. You've got your own name on both your wine brands as well as your bourbon brands and things like that, which means you must have a reasonably confident palate. So what are you looking for when you're going out and you're trying different barrels and you're blending? Is there a profile that you're looking for?
Yes, there's I can do all kinds of tasting notes, but there is one tasting note. It's called delicious.
All right, there we go. That's what I'm looking. That's a winner every time.
That's what I'm looking for. Another thing, I started early in my career with an inn and a restaurant, so I was the kind of breakfast cook or whatever you want to call it. I washed dishes, whatever needed to be done at the inn. It was a 3-room inn, and it grew into a 32-room inn. And then I was the wine buyer there. And so I got to taste a lot of great, wines, and also buying whiskeys and spirits. So I'm always tasting things. I'm always trying to improve my palate. I never say no to a pour. I try to find something new that somebody's doing. Try to learn from it. The more things you experience in life, I think the more you can draw from.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we just talked about you're just looking for delicious. There's nothing you're necessarily chasing down when you're making a blend. There's
a profile. There is a profile. There is a
profile.
profile. I believe if you taste Old Carter, you'll see that richness, that depth. That kind of concentration. You've got a sweet note always at the end of the taste. It's complex. It's got good aromatics. When you smell it, you can, the American whiskeys, you can just smell it, not ever even drink it, and be totally happy with what we do. I believe, I've heard it all the time from all the folks that actually buy the American whiskeys. They're sitting there just smelling an empty glass half the time, and their wife wondering what the heck they're doing.
I call that the dessert of the tasting right there.
Right.
But we're tasting through 88 barrels right now, correct, Mark?
That's correct. When I do a blend, and these are very small batch blends. Very small batch means it's either from 3 to maybe 6 barrels right now is what we've got. And but to do 9 different distributors, basically is going to take about 40 to 50 barrels to do that. And I usually buy, when I bring in from our warehouse, we'll bring in about 80 barrels just in case I don't like some of the barrels, because if it's not up to my standards, after I taste through them, I push them aside and we'll do something with them later. They'll go back to the warehouse or whatever, maybe barrel those or whatever needs to be done.
Have you ever had a properly problem child barrel?
Yeah, I have. I got a couple of them right downstairs. I'm probably just going to redistill. It does happen. Yeah, it just they're just really not up to the standards, and the flavor profile is not. It is not delicious. That's for sure.
Yeah, there we go.
So you said this one is the Georgia blend.
Yeah. So this is GA4. This is Indiana juice. Yeah.
It tastes like Indiana juice in a Kelvin barrel.
It is Indiana. This is Indiana bourbon, GA4. Man, that is smoky, yo. That is,
It does have a nice
absolutely.
smoky note. It's got some.
I did not.
to it, though.
When I tried it, I did not get that smoke note.
I recognize the flavor profile.
What's interesting, like you brought it up in the Calvin barrels. I was fortunate enough to start getting Calvin barrels a couple of years ago. Also, I love barrels so much. With the wine, we use about 5 to 7 different cooperages around from almost, they're all French cooperages, French oak. With the whiskey, it's all American oak, but I have like now 5 different coopers that I use, and with different char levels, like Brian said. And it's just great to taste some of these barrels, and they're different. The staves can be anywhere from 8 months to 36 months, or even sometimes longer a little bit. I really like the 36 months. I really don't go with 8 month, kind of air dried staves. I just like when the wood in the barrel is more seasoned, it's going to be a little sweeter and the green notes disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with our, that creates a bigger spice rack, more cooperages, different barrels, different dry aged times on that wood with the toasted heads. Just, it's what we contribute to the Carter process, and how we really blend and get those more bolder, more expansive tasting notes and flavors.
Yeah.
What does the Old Carter brand stand for in today's bourbon world to y'all?
We just want to stand out and be delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we.
You're on track here. That tastes fantastic.
We don't keep it simple, right? And Mark's right. Every batch is we compartmentalize everything. We look at every batch as if that's our last batch. And if you do that and you understand that, that's the care and the craftness of Old Carter. That's what we bring to the table.
One of the things too that we never really knew, we knew when we started, even with Kentucky Owl, that we could never really duplicate the batches because we didn't have enough barrels in the warehouse. We didn't have 50,000 barrels or 100,000 or 1,000,000 barrels to work with. If you do, you can make bigger batches. You can make it more consistent. I came from the wine background. Every vintage is totally different. You have to work with. Some vintages are, the vintage of a lifetime, so to speak. The 23 vintage that we just bottled, they've been comparing best vintage in 40 years, they said. So we knew that, and we wanted to make each batch totally different. So people, everybody's palate's different. They're going to find something, that just that little nuance in each one of these, blends that we do, even these 9 different, distributor batches, they're going to find one that they love more than the others. We just know that. Even when we do, a lot of times I do national batches, which may be 20 to 22 barrel blends of the American whiskey, which was the 14 and 15. And a lot of that juice was 19 to 20 years old. A minimum of 50% was. One batch is a little bit more maybe creamier and one's a little darker because we also know that there's 2 sets of camps out there, but they want something delicious.
I'm curious about you guys' double barrel process. Mm-hmm. Is there a set time frame that you guys double barrel these to get
that's an interesting thing too. Our minimum's probably been about 6 months, and our longest has been 3 years. Again, it just depends on tasting through the barrels. Some mature faster than others.
This has a richness that you just don't generally get.
That's a smoky richness. Yeah, that's a smoky richness right now.
That's what we shoot for.
Yeah,
you got it.
It's rich, complex, and has a balanced finish on it. That's what we shoot for.
Yeah. I love that you guys are doing different releases per state for the distributors, and we're going to start a state war here.
And I'm glad you said that.
Louisiana barrel.
One of the
Big
mine's better. Mine's better, man. So what I really enjoy, that's a good segue, is that I want everybody to know that each one of these batches are completely different. We just don't take a big batch and just every batch that we do is meticulously and crafted by this man's palate right here. All right. That's what we really have to understand. So I mean,
Let's pour the next batch.
let's go.
Yeah.
He always keeps me on track.
My glass is empty. I don't know about
so
you
what
guys.
state are we headed to now?
So. All right, let's recap here. So the first one we did was GA4.
Yeah.
This will be hitting Georgia here soon.
That is correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then so our next one is Colorado 2.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
And I just want to say
mountain whiskey.
on these batches, they're usually about 1,000 bottles.
Give or take.
So you said you guys have been tasting through 88 barrels currently. How many barrels are you guys normally doing, like tasting through per batch? Is that typical 88?
Well, no, 88 is because we're doing all these distributor batches. So like he was saying, you need a little bit of wiggle room on the barrels, yes, because you never know what you're going to get, right? So and it takes a while to get these samples in. So just get a lot once, and then we can figure it out from there.
Batch 1 of the Colorado was all double barreled. This one is not.
So we've had a Colorado one that was all double, right?
That is correct.
And then we had New York,
New
Jersey, number
I was just
3.
looking back on
New York,
that.
New Jersey, number 3 was all double barreled.
It was double barrel.
And then
Five bourbon or
five bourbon.
national batch and 15 bourbon.
and not American, but Bourbon 15.
Yeah.
Bourbon 15 should have got Whiskey of the Year. If you have not had Bourbon 15 yet,
This is
Please.
incredible, by the way.
so this right here is Colorado 2. But if you have not had Bourbon Batch 15 national release, go out there and get it.
No, absolutely. We
It
reviewed
should have been
that.
Whiskey of the Year. We never submit anything just because we're so delicious.
No,
So
we kind of already echoed that. We did that as an episode
So
already,
we've
batch
already,
15.
See, there we
and
go.
We
Episode.
couldn't stop glowing about it.
There we go.
It was a fantastic batch.
I think he's talking about bourbon 15.
Oh, bourbon.
Bourbon
15. I'm
15.
sorry.
You're talking
Yeah,
about-
we did,
No.
we did the American.
you did
Oh,
We did
American.
American batch
15.
15.
That
So-
has
right, you're right.
75% of 19 and 20-year-old juice in there.
Yeah. And you
Took
can taste
delicious
it
barrel.
because we absolutely
So,
adored it.
Bur-
The literal thumbnail for that particular video for our Neat Plans and Poor Decision fans is Dan in a little fangirl outfit.
what was that? 134.
With 134.
3 or 2.
Yeah,
that,
Point
that
two
was
or
the
point
only
three.
difference between the two batches.
No,
It was
but
like 1 point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
14 and 15.
so Bourbon Batch 15 came out in 2023.
Man,
American
this is-
whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, no,
oh,
no.
you
All the
mean
things
the
that-
Bourbon
Yeah,
Batch 15
23,
came
yeah.
out in 2023, and that should have won. That should have won best whiskey of 2023.
We had one barrel that was not double barreled. And I said, well, hell, we haven't had a totally double barreled batch since 5. I said, I'm pulling that one out. It's not double barreled.
This one's not good.
And we don't put that on the label or anything. We just tell people, if you want to know what we do, we'll
Just
tell you
ask
what we
us.
do always.
Cherry, like brown sugars, burnt sugars, cherry, just absolutely fantastic.
Now, is that double barrel? Is that across all 3 expressions?
Yes, so there's a double barreling aspect across not only our VSBs, which that's our state batches, our distribution batches, but also in the
Yeah,
national.
I'm glad you brought that up because the rye, again, batch 12 rye was all double barreled. And that's the one we got 100 points on from a critic. And I guess we're one of the first whiskey companies who got a perfect score on a rye, and by Jeb Dunnick.
Your wines have received a fair few perfect scores, if I recall rightly, as well.
As somebody once said, never enough. Though. We now have, I think we had 31 100-point wines. I guess right
Yeah.
now we just picked up 4 this year with that legendary 2023 vintage. But I thought I was doing good until some guy said, "Oh, his journey was doing so well." I just wanted to thank, humbled and all, that he just received his 39th 100. But there's only 5 of us like that, I think. But
Nice.
If you had to choose, which one is
Oh God! Somebody asked me that the other.
100-point whiskey or the 100-point wines?
That's a tough one. You know, it's your
100
first
point rye, man.
It's always your first one. It's your first, wine. You know, back in 2002, we got our first 100, and that will always be my favorite wine, even though we've done some other ones. But then the rye, since that's the first bourbon, or whiskey that we've gotten 100 on, that's my favorite.
There we go.
So how many states is Old Carter in currently?
We're in 14 states.
14 states
coming
so
up.
far?
Yeah.
Coming
Absolutely.
Yeah.
up.
Beautiful.
We're just starting with actually Massachusetts. We're signing up there, and that'll be great. I'll be making a very small batch for them. So, and I'm working on North Carolina. We got to find a distributor that would like to, have us there.
So everybody watching out there,
Yeah,
North Carolina.
right.
North Carolina,
is a
don't miss out.
notoriously difficult state to be able to work within and work around. I know we don't mention them much, but my employers just managed to get into North Carolina only this year. That it's been about 2 years in the works for that one. So,
Well, we're hoping to be in there way sooner than 2 years. Yeah. So, but we'll see.
A lot of good people up there. And we got a lot of people that love what we do up there. So.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I mean, I think
I know about North
I think
Carolina that get him to like
Gotta
us.
start with senior.
I think it's safe to say we got lovers in all 50 states, and then some international love there too.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I get calls all the time from everywhere. So yeah, we definitely got the love out there. But it's easy though. It's and I say easy in a sense of the juice, right? It's hard putting it together. It's meticulous. It's crafted, and that's what we bring to the table. Laces out. I love it. Laces out. Laces out.
Always. I love that movie.
On his finger.
Anyway. But it's easy in the sense that, a lot of people are like, wow, I don't see you advertised or this or that. Well, it's easy because our juice screams for us. When your juice screams for the company, it's easy, right? I mean, that's how you're making a great product. When you don't have to scream for your juice, when your juice screams for you, it's easy. That's what I mean by it's easy, right? You just keep making more of it in the processes that we bring to the table with the Carter process. It's going to be easy. Now, it's not easy making it, but it's easy getting it out and having it a great product. Well, it's creating a legacy brand without having a major and high yielding facility, right? And that's what we do. We're creating a legacy brand through craft, through this craftness that we bring to the table with blending and understanding how to create a better whiskey. Mark always says, I can take a good barrel and make it better. And that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm big fans of the process of tasting it yourself, putting your name on it, putting it out there, saying,
Of course.
this batch I approve because I put it together myself. So I think there's something to be said for that. You don't see that in the whiskey world a whole lot.
Of course.
When I started actually with the hotel, and my father was still around, and he was kind of a guy that said, if you're proud of what you do, you put your name on it, And so I've always kind of done that, and I stand behind what we make, and what do you leave behind? And you can't take money to the grave, and you really want to leave memories behind. One of the when I got into whiskey, I have 5 whiskeys on my hand that I remember, and it's like the Booker's Rye, or it's Jimmy Russell's the 98, it's the Heaven Hill, Elijah Craig, batch 6 of the Pirate Bottle.
Hazmat.
Oh, man, that
Hazmat.
140.2, baby.
You want to be
Batch
on that
6.
top
So good.
5
God.
of all times of people that when they taste something, they said, that is one of the greatest whiskeys I've ever tasted, and that's what what I try to do when I'm blending is try to make something that people will say, oh my God, that is some of the greatest whiskeys that were ever made.
Love
That's what I want to leave behind.
What do you think that the Carter process lends itself to? What are people going to say about Old Carter 20, 30 years from now?
I mean,
We don't know. Hopefully they'll say good things.
yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Mark is a very sharing guy within the actual within his, I'm going to say empire right now, because that's what we're creating. So he's I think he's teaching the right people. I know he lets me in on the process and with a couple other people. We're very selective. It's all about trust and not letting the secrets out, right? Now I can tell you our double barreling process, things like that, and people are more than welcome to do that. But it's really that craftness and what we really do with it that has that makes it gold. You know, it's I call Mark the whiskey tickler. You know, he just tickles those whiskeys. I mean, he makes them come alive, man. He makes them come alive, and he makes them.
Speaking of tickling whiskey, where are we at here?
This is
Louisiana?
LA4. Yep. And LA doesn't mean Los Angeles; it means Louisiana.
All right, so
Yeah.
Louisiana 4.
All right, so
We got CA for California.
So Indiana juice on this one as well. So this one is one of my favorites, but the next one is going to be the best VSB of 2025. No, not this one, the next one.
I don't know how
That's
much
for his
information you guys want. Is there less double oak or less double barrel in this?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's a little bit more brightness.
Yeah, I like
you know.
it. I love this.
Yeah, I love this one.
This one is amazing.
This is a lot.
Not
so
that
this is
these other
bright.
ones are really good too.
Oh yeah.
The Indiana singing.
So this
This
is
is good.
this is bright on the front, has a really great finish. It just balances itself out really well. Almost like and you got that complex little grape on the end, man. Almost like a raisiny.
There is definitely a raisin
Yeah.
I love it.
in the best way possible.
That's really good.
That's a bueno batch right there.
Yeah. So what we'll do now is we've got a little bit of just basically a rapid fire segment.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you guys some quick little questions and try and do little short, quick responses. I'm going to ask you both since
cool.
we've got you both on you guys today. Do you have a favorite barrel that you ever released?
Barrel.
Favorite,
We don't.
favorite
batch.
batch we've ever
You know,
released. Yeah.
I'm still pretty happy with batch 5 bourbon.
Okay.
Kentucky 3.
Kentucky 3.
Yeah.
There we go.
Kentucky VSB 3. Yep.
What is your desert island or death row bourbon? You only have one. You can take it. You can get 5 bottles of it. You can take it to the desert island with you. That's it.
I love this man so much, but it's one of those bottles that just lives in your brain forever. It was one of my very first barrel proofs. It's batch 6 Pirate 140.2.
No shit.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Now
I would take the Booker's Rye.
Yeah.
there we go.
Hey,
Now my second would be Bourbon
reached
Batch
down, we
5
released it
Old
once,
Carter.
right?
Bourbon Batch 5 Old Carter just put it that just took things to the stratosphere. But if I had to choose, Batch 6 140.2 EC Pirate. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Very well.
This one's the middle. Next one's a little bit of a hard one. What do you think is the most overhyped trend in bourbon today?
It's tough for me to say. You go ahead, Brad.
You know, I'm gonna rebuttal with this.
Okay.
I enjoy anything that creates a stir in the whiskey realm, in the industry, because I'm all about everybody. I'm not just about us, you know. And whatever's trending out there, I love it, because what that can do is open up the grounds for some really cool, innovative, and new ways of not only, you know, trying whiskey or crafting whiskey or whatever. So I'm an educated hillbilly, right? I'm from southeastern Kentucky, right? Foothills of Appalachia. So I really enjoy what this juice can really do for people. You know, it brings people together. It brings about a community of just people wanting to do better. And I think that's what we want to do, is just do better. Look what we're doing here. I mean, whiskey brought us together. Whiskey is why we have these cameras and microphones. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So cheers to whiskey.
Cheers, guys.
So
Cheers.
Kentucky 4 is what
KY4, baby.
A little
Cheers,
cheers.
gentlemen.
Yeah, and cheers to the juice.
KY4
The
and
juice. Cheers to the
the bourbon
process.
community.
And
Love
cheers
you all.
to you guys out
Absolutely.
there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One question I did have that I'd like to. What's the best way for the viewership out there seeing this to put their hands on a bottle of Old Carter?
It's tough. I can tell you what states it's in. I can do all that. We cannot control what bars it goes into, restaurants, on premise, off premise. We cannot control that, right? We are a very finite material. We have only so many barrels that we can do at a time and how we do it. So we're very exclusive. It is very hard. It's become friends with your liquor stores in the states that we're in. That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
And don't just buy us, buy all the products they have, because then you can get on the allocated stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah. So
Support that liquor store.
yeah. So and
That one
support
shop.
local. That's the one thing. I'm not here to not to say anything about the the big Krogers or the Costco's or anything like that, because there's a place for that too. But I think we're all helping mom and pops out. So let's just keep doing that. And hopefully we can get some whiskey where you're at and you can have a bottle. If you would like to know anything about the whiskey that's in your bottles, give me a call. Google Old Carter. That is my cell phone.
Or you can send us an email at info and we answer it.
Yeah.
Yep. So email.
We have a
call.
very small crew today. Still, we're like 3 or 4 people. We do have a few extra people coming in to help when we do bottling, and because we have like a lot of parts on a bottle for a label. You got the first labeling, which is back and front. You got a collar, then you got a neck, then you got so it's all hand really, and we still are handwriting.
We're handwriting.
The numbers on.
we put everything on. So the front back's put on by one at a time, by a person. These are put on by hand. These are put on by hand, and then the plastic is actually put on by hand.
Yeah.
So everything is very. So we're and then we
He's doing real well. We're gonna keep him.
handcraft. we handcraft from A to Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And so we have, we've been doing this since we really got started. We'd have bartenders, local bartenders come in and help label for the day or whatever, or, maybe it might be a week to do a batch. And then they get to taste what we do. Very few people's ever done this, I think, but then they know what each batch tastes like too. And they were part of actually, putting this together, which has been really good for us.
Yeah. So, we like to cheers all of our team here, and helping us craft everything that really goes into Old Carter.
Yeah. So we've been talking about the markets and what's coming soon. What's new?
Yeah, so it's a great segue into what we got here. This right here is North Carolina 1. So we are going to be getting into North Carolina.
Somehow or another. If we have to
Somehow or
back
another.
in the
Just
car,
back in like
the old days.
Yeah, take it like the
NASCAR
old
style.
We'll
Just
float the
move
barrels down
straight
the
in
river
there.
and get them there. Or...
I think I had a call from the ABC today, but I said, I'm not there and I'm still there yet.
It's just going to be
Either way.
It's going to be you and Brian selling things out the boot of a car.
Hey, let's go. Hey, it ain't.
We
ain't
still pay the tax on it. We'll still pay the
whoa,
tax.
yeah. We are still going to pay taxes.
We will always pay our tax.
Most important,
Money will always be handed where
the
money needs
man
to
will
be.
get his cut.
But ain't be the first time, probably won't be the second time. But no, so this is NC1, kind of showing growth, kind of showing where we're at, currently with these first 4, and then showing growth into North Carolina, showing growth into Boston, which we're working on that right now as a blend. So, showing where we're at now and where we're growing into the future. It's all strategic. It all has to have a purpose. So that's what we have to have here at Old Carter. We just don't go into things just willy-nilly.
And most of everything we have that we've been tasting today, all these very small batches, are 11-year-old Indiana bourbon. So
Yep.
Less double barrel in this again too.
a little bit less, yes. Yeah, and what's interesting, there is a couple of different mash bills we use.
Our
too.
profile.
Okay. I really like this one.
But
Again, yeah.
Oh, this is my profile on the nose. It's jumping to me. This
So-
this is hitting my heart right here.
all of our whiskey is straight whiskey, so it comes from that state. We source from Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee.
See, yeah.
Yep. So that's another little tidbit there.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
One question I didn't get to ask yet that I'm just curious. This one's kind of more for Mark, I guess. If you got to go back in time, or maybe even past or present, who would you like to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
Gosh, there's so many, really have passed away,
Yeah.
We got to see Al Young before he left us, and what a great guy.
Cheers to
You
him.
know.
Cheers to him.
Cheers to Al Young.
The legend.
That was
The legend.
that was a legend.
Absolutely.
Man.
And there's so many other legends out there,
Yeah.
but I don't,
Yeah.
you got Elmer T. Lee, you got
That would have been great.
you've got
I like his hat.
Yeah.
I wear his hat all the
Yeah,
time.
big fanboy of the hat.
Yeah.
I mean, does it belong to him or does it belong to you now? That's the real question. I think.
Maybe, instead of the torch,
I'm
it's been
just
passed, the hat
borrowing
has
it
been
for
passed,
and, and we can't leave out Jamie Russell and all this either. I just think
absolutely.
What a legend.
I just think you got so many greats out there. I mean, I'm speaking for Mark. I just don't think you can pull it down to one.
Yeah.
I think you just have to figure out who's in the industry now, and then let's collaborate until we can't.
Right.
That's show the love.
It was
Time like the present.
it was
No time like
really
the present. Amen.
fun collaborating with Bardstown Bourbon Company and their team.
Dan Calloway, let's go. Dan is
Yeah.
an excellent guy.
And,
Cheers to you, Dan.
Yeah,
That's
they are hitting some home runs. Right?
Yeah, they're really hitting their stride.
I have
really
to.
happening.
I got to do a shout out to my boy John Cecil, over at Bardstown here in Louisville. He's running Green River and the Bardstown Bourbon Company down here. So way to go, Mr. Cecil. I'll always be advocating you, homie. You're a good man.
That's right. Louisville proud.
well, that's where we got to taste, batch 6, Elijah Craig.
Cecil, if you haven't
Fresh
met,
on the brain right now.
if you haven't met Cecil, go see Cecil.
You remember where you drank these things
Yeah,
at, you know what I mean?
That's a thing. That's one
These
thing.
legendary bourbons,
No, that's one thing we always talk about is like
and who you drank with.
the whiskey like creates those core memories for you. Where
Absolutely.
When you have a certain pour,
Yeah.
maybe it's one that's on the table today. When you taste it again, it takes you back.
Of course.
And there's not much out there that does that.
Well, there's not much out there that does it.
Grandma's cooking.
Yeah, you got grandma's cooking. You've got some selective kind of scents out there.
It's hard to
But-
beat grandma's cooking, though. I'll tell you.
I tell you.
I remember her soup, and I'm still.
I don't know. My mama's broccoli casserole. Watch out.
Yeah.
All right. I come from the South. Everything's a casserole.
Breakfast casserole,
Oh
breakfast
my
casserole.
gosh, all the casseroles. Good Lord. But we go back to that's why we enjoy this, right? It's rooted in some sort of core kind of remembrance in ourselves, right? And it's a core remembrance of who we were with at that time and who we were enjoying it with. And that's why we do this, and that's why we have this, right? I love this juice because it brings together not only Americans, but people across the world just in whiskey alone. And it brings together good people. It brings together people who want to know each other and know about each other and create good. And that's why I enjoy this. That's why we drink this. And that's why we're doing this today, because the human element. And gentlemen, ladies, fellers and fellerettes.
Here's that.
And cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
And we're all here because of that reason. We're talking about our favorite whiskeys of all time, too.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
You can remember them and who you were with.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
You remember that moment. You never forget it.
I
And
was-
if you get lucky enough to taste it again,
Oh my God!
it takes you right back there.
I was buying
and nothing else.
cases.
This is the time machine.
Exactly.
You know,
Absolutely.
it really is.
I was buying cases of 140.2 whiskey of that Elijah Craig
Craig, yeah.
Pirate. And so I took 2 bottles
Lucky
up.
guy.
At $49.
A 40. Yes, it was incredible.
Sorry, secondary.
You know, I took those up. I was on a trip by myself. I was on a fly fishing trip up into the mountains of East Tennessee. I took 2 bottles with me. Didn't watch a lick of TV. All I did was burn fire in the fireplace and drink a little whiskey and fished. That's what I did. You know, it's about finding yourself in the whiskey as well.
Absolutely.
See, this is funny for me as well because I am obviously not from here.
You have an accent.
Yeah, it turns out.
He's from a particular
Wait a minute.
Part of.
Are you
That's
from
what I
Louisiana? Wait a minute. Are you from Louisiana?
It's very southern part of Kentucky.
Southern hemisphere. But I have had this amazing experience with bourbon in the last 5 years. I've been only in the bourbon industry for the last 5 years. I've vastly enjoyed the time that I have spent in it, and how incredibly welcoming it is, and how incredibly sort of social it is, and that kind of thing as well. Not coming from a place where bourbon is a thing, like it is a thing. You can of course buy a bottle of Jim Beam or Maker's Mark or something along those lines, but vast majority of Australians know bourbon as something you buy pre-mixed in cans with Coke. You buy a 24-pack of Jim and Coke cans or something along those lines, and then you go from
OC
there.
and Coke.
God, if
See
we
you in
get
Australia.
Enough.
If we get there, we're doing good.
Yeah, that's right.
But in the last 5 years, I've built an absolutely fantastic experience working in this industry and working with people in this industry. And it's really welcomed me in to that environment as well. And as someone who doesn't come from here, you would expect, or a lot of other people would expect, that it would be a more closed off thing than what it is. And that has not been my experience at all.
No.
With that kind of with the environment, with the industry, with people have welcomed me in with open arms, which is not something that I ever would have thought prior to moving here and prior to moving and being in the industry.
Yeah. So
That's exactly what we were talking about.
that goes right back to the human element. You know, we're connecting people not only in Kentucky, we're not connecting people wholly here in the United States where, you know, bourbon is a product of the United States. That's why I call it the intimate spirit of America, because it's made here, but it also brings people to here. You know, you're from Australia. Now you live in Louisville, Kentucky. Did you ever think you would live in Louisville, Kentucky 20 years ago?
Absolutely not.
There you go. and you've had a great ride ever since you've been here, yeah?
Yeah.
There it is. And it's all because of whiskey.
All right, guys, it's time to spin our wheel and do.
I'm excited about this.
Me too.
Yeah, so this is something we do every episode. This is sample roulette. We're going to spin the wheel. There's 10 blind samples over there. None of us at this table know what they are, and we're going to try and decipher what we're tasting. So let's finish what's in our glass. And Mark, why don't you do the honors for us today?
Okay.
All right, Mark.
Kinda-
Make sure you get it. Make sure you get a good one.
Well, they're all good. Looks like we're getting 10.
10. That's the first time.
First time. There we
love
go.
number 10. We never had a 10. Like, no bullshit. Out
It's
of the
a-
5, they're all very good.
Yeah.
Like,
and
not
and
even
that's-
just like,
and that's
I'm
what
in
we
your
bring to the
space and
table.
I'm saying that. No, like, legitimately, I would buy all 5 bottles. They're great.
Of course. I mean, well, we appreciate you saying that. And first and foremost, I didn't say it. I think Mark did, but I wanted to just thank everybody here, to your production team, to you guys,
God,
everybody. I mean, what you're doing for whiskey is amazing. Everybody else out there that's doing podcasts and in the industry, thank you guys too. But thank you all, especially for coming here and doing this. Appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having us.
So cheers to you guys.
So cheers.
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
here's the
That was a good
roulette.
cheers.
We'll see if the
See
wheel
where the
was
wheel-
kind. So, like, what we ask, most of these pours have come in from our viewership. They send them to a P.O. box. Danielle gets them. We don't know what they are.
Thank
this
you.
could be anything.
Thank you, Whiskey World.
This literally could be anything. It could be great. We ask people to send in their favorite thing.
It's all good.
Their least favorite
it's all
thing.
good. It's all
a
good.
shelfer they enjoy. This could be anything.
All right. So, hey, this could be blind leading the blind right
Whoa.
now.
Yeah,
The
Absolutely.
first
It
thing
is.
I got was like a perfumey.
I'm thinking this might be
Yes,
finished.
we're blind leading the blind right
I
now.
think this. What do you all
Plugging
think about?
Watch Hill proper right now.
Yeah.
I think
Hey, cheers.
Cheers,
shout out
Chris Ballou.
Chris Ballou, Tommy Craggs, and Josh Howells.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you've
What a
never
great
been-
team.
If you've not been to,
Wow, I can't get over. There's like a dryer sheet perfume thing happening on the.
I think this is finished. I really do.
I mean,
I mean, it smells
Instantly,
like
I would
flower
think
petals.
that.
It smells like flowers
It's
for
very
sure. So I grew up in a flower shop.
Very floral.
I grew up in a flower shop. My family's
Really
owned a
did.
flower shop in southeastern Kentucky. It's been going since 1926. My family bought in the late 50s.
Interesting.
I haven't gone to the palate. The nose is very interesting.
That to me is a wine finish of some description, is it not?
Well, we're with the right guy if it is.
Oh my gosh! Don't put that ego on Ricky Bobby. That's interesting.
Like some sort of Finnish rare character.
I almost get tequila out of this guy.
It's got some
Yeah.
proof on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so far away from where you're at. This
It's
is
like
so
a
different.
smoky weirdness.
I got to revisit it now that it's on my palate.
See, the fun
We
of
drank
this.
so much big,
Definitely
bold,
floral.
big
You-
bold
you-
bourbon
you
that
got some
like
big
coming down to
bold
something floral stuff.
Yeah.
It is floral.
See, the fun of this as well is that we get some very
I'm
unusual
on the
things
nose,
to
like,
try.
it goes a little herbaceous after that floral, which makes me wonder: are we ryeing a little bit?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's
I
a decent guess.
I thought a little rye at the
was
very
wondering.
beginning.
That's a
That's a
I
decent
could
guess.
I could
Yeah.
see a
Let's put
20%
some spices on
rye,
the end of that.
like a 25% rye,
21,
I do think this is a lower proof.
Indiana,
I think this is
21%
lower
rye.
proof.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That low rye.
I don't know. I'm getting
A little swirl and blow.
on the palate.
Oh.
I'm getting like juniper berry,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Gin.
ginny.
I,
Yeah.
This is a gin finished. I think this might be a gin finished.
I don't know what's going on.
thinking
It's a
Jesus,
unique
Tokai.
Tokai.
Yes, there
You know
Yes.
that one,
That's
the wine and
absolutely-
the Tokai.
Yeah.
I thought
That's-
I could be all
maybe
over
That's
that
fair.
with you.
not
Yeah.
not a Tokai, but
this is very
a
ginny.
sweet wine. You know,
Something.
finish.
A
Yeah, but
unique
the back
wine
of it's
finish.
smoky though.
Maybe
Sauterne barrel.
Saw turns.
It's our turn.
That's the stuff
Hey.
I don't like
I
downstairs.
just can't think. I keep going back.
Hey,
to
whoa!
the-
Don't give away ours, Sandwich.
But you know, I tried it. You know, we didn't like it. I probably will do something else. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, but hey,
Proof
you
is
don't know until you
tripping
try.
me out.
Yeah.
He's right.
The best
And
part
that's
is,
one thing I really want to get across to the whiskey community, whether you're young, old, whatever. You don't know until you try, and that's on all aspects of your life.
a little
it's
depth now. I'm getting
I'd be
down to
surprised
the
if it's
floral.
not some sort of finish on it.
This is a finish.
This has to
This
be
has to be
finished.
finished.
You get
This
a little,
has
I get a
to be-
Do we
little
know
bit
what
of a
this is?
Scotch kind of thing
We're
going
gonna
on.
find out.
We're gonna
Tell
find
us.
out.
All right.
here in a
Oh,
minute.
cool.
So
All
once
right.
we've deciphered a little bit, we'll all kind of take a stab at like
Yeah.
bourbon or
Basically,
rye,
we get a
proof,
chance to
and if
walk
anybody
the
wants
plank.
to say I've had this, we guess, but we're always wrong.
We're always wrong.
We actually have nailed a few on the head. We have, but this one I would be really surprised if we nail on the head. This one's.
All right. You want to
unique.
take, or you want
And
to take
I
a,
feel like
you want to take a
personally-
stab at it?
I feel
We'll
like I
go.
haven't tasted it.
I think
for it.
some sort of wine finish, Tokai, maybe Sauternes. For a second, I thought VDN too.
Oh, Vinod in Aranda.
So- some sort of wine finish.
What-
Maybe a rare character.
What do you think the proof is? Take a stab.
114.
Okay. So you think it's finished?
I got a new.
I could see it being MGP too.
I got a
114.
Scotch.
What do you think the base is?
You got Scotch too.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you think
a
it's
little
rye,
bit
you
of that,
think it's
or
bourbon?
Irish whiskey even,
Yeah.
21%.
like that barley.
Oh, you're
broken
calling.
in.
He's calling the mash bill out. Did you hear this?
call
Thing?
it? Yeah.
He called the mash bill. So you think it's 21% bourbon,
Yeah, 20%.
finished,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Finished.
it's MGP.
Man, it's
and then 114 proof.
114 proof. Yeah.
All right.
beautiful.
Nope. I go last. What about you,
I'll
homie?
jump in.
All right,
We'll go first and then
I'm
suggest
actually
it.
going to go with some kind of wine finish barrel for this one. It's probably sitting around 110, 114, somewhere in that range there.
Got to be white wine though.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Well, I could even go white.
All right.
port.
Whoa. What do you think the base is? Hold on. What do you think the base is?
So I'm again sitting like a 25 to 21% rye corn, but with a little bit of extra barley. Well, I'm going to say there's some kind of special barley in there.
So you get a little
So
more.
you're going.
me,
You're
yeah,
going
I
with
think
rye
you get a
base.
malt.
So to me,
Rye
I'm
base.
going to go
High rye
away.
So you're saying rye base, and then you're finished.
Yes.
Okay. And then what's your proof?
About somewhere between 110 and 114.
He's saying high rye bourbon.
Yeah, higher rye bourbon
Oh, I'm
with
sorry.
a finish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna go.
You're
away.
high rye bourbon.
I'm gonna go away from the thoughts here. I'm feeling something totally different. I'm going. This is a rye finished in a Scotch cask.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't. All right.
I'm
All right.
like 110 to 115 on proof.
Okay.
It's unique. Whatever this is.
No, it's super unique.
It's thrown me for a loop. And
Yeah,
it's
I
way
will.
different than
I
where
will
we
say
were
this:
thinking.
I get a slight smokiness on that back end.
That's why I thought it might be
Salt turn. I think it's a salt.
could-
You go
Southern
next. You go
wouldn't
next.
Surprise me, but I kind of get the Scotchy thing. Personally.
Yeah, there's not a lot of color on it, so I use barrel.
Yeah.
That has influenced by the flavor of whatever the liquor was inside it, and it is a little reminiscent of a Scotch, non-peaty Scotch that's been put into maybe a bourbon barrel at one point, then used again or something like that. So
This one, if I had to take a guess, probably wouldn't make a Carter blend.
Whoa. Hold on. We're not gonna say yes or no to that. But
So sorry.
different, profile, definitely.
all right, Mr. Carter, you're next. What do you say?
So I think it's MGP, put into a barrel. I think it's put into a kind of almost neutral barrel of maybe I don't think you're too far off because there's some malt kind of.
There's like a malty thing.
Yeah, but not a lot because I hate malt and I could really notice it. So it's not.
It's got a kiss of it.
Yeah, a kiss.
To me.
That's
why they're saying Sauterne. I could see that. I think Scotchy.
Yeah, and Sauterne could be, and it's thick and sweet enough. Sauterne, maybe I experimented and maybe I left it in the barrel too long. I should have had it in there for about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm learning. It's still, you never stop learning.
Pour it in one end and out the other.
Yeah.
So you think it's a bourbon base?
I think it's a bourbon-based 21% rye into a neutral cast of some sort it could be either Sauterne or maybe a Scotch barrel or something, but I don't know anybody bringing Scotch barrels back over here yet. I haven't read about that, but
We've had a few pop up, but
Yeah.
what do you think, Booth?
All right. When I first taste it, the very back end, you get a kick of smoke. You get a scotchy smoke. So, I originally thought Sauterne or wine. I'm gonna go with you, man. I'm a Scotch barrel. I think this is. I'm not gonna call it the mash bill. I'm not sure. You get a little pepperiness on that back. Okay. I think this is a bourbon mash. I think this is a bourbon mash. I think this is finished in a Scotch barrel. There's a light color to this. So I think what they were trying to do is take something that was a little bit more young and give it more flavor by putting it in a second cask without aging it too long. I do think that's what was going on here. So
All right, let's find
I think
out.
I think you're at 100. I think you're at 107. 107 proof bourbon mash finish in a Scotch barrel, and I think the bourbon was of a younger-ish age, somewhere between 5 and 6 years old. 4 to 6.
Proof
4 to
wise,
6.
Mark, where were you?
it's pretty balanced. So it drinks okay at if it was 120, it could be 110. I say 110.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we got?
We got to
Danielle?
find out how wrong
The
we all
rotating-
are.
Overall, it's really hilarious. Journeyman.
Oh, so it's 100%.
100% wheat.
It's 100% wheat mash bill.
Stop it.
100% wheat mash
Paul
bill.
says
We already
This is
knew
a Journeyman.
We nailed
Corset
that, didn't
Flips
we?
and- what is it?
Wow.
And whiskey.
Blind leading the blind right there,
And,
kids.
we were in the proof range. A lot of us.
Yep.
We were 117 for this one. So, but yeah, it's unique. It's different, and that's why
I've never had
100% wheat yields interesting, different flavors. It's not typical.
How old is it?
There's no age.
No age statement. So Journeyman out of Michigan.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So there's an age statement on the bottle
I
whatsoever?
think we're looking 4 to 6 years here.
I think you're looking at 4 to 6.
4 to
Yep.
6. So
Okay.
younger.
That'd be my guess.
Proof wise, we're on it. But the mash bill, this one trips me up anytime I taste it.
Yeah, this is
It really
this is weird.
It's all over the place.
This is a weird one.
And
What do you
the
go?
last
Journeyman?
one I had.
Organic grown Michigan wheat.
Yes, it's
Oh.
organic wheat.
It's that northern wheat. Hold up. It's that northern wheat.
It's 100% organic wheat, which is unique in itself. And the last one I had was like a red apple bomb.
I mean,
And
I'm not
then
a big wheat.
This
I like
one
that more than I
is
think.
just all over. Is
know,
this
I'm-
ascendant from Chad?
No.
No, somebody else.
Young wheat
very
is and that's pretty young if it's 4 years old.
I mean, even if it's 6,
It's really
still-
tasty.
I don't
really
know.
tasty. For
And
that.
like, I guess my thing when you normally have
don't get
wheat
wheat on
in the
that.
I don't
bourbon
either.
or wheat
Nope.
in the blend,
There's a little green note,
the
but I
wheat
don't
just
get that
kind
with
of
wheat
plays
at all.
apart. So when you use 100% wheat, you're lending itself
I
to
just
the barrel.
like wheat.
I feel
It is the barrel. So
and so
I-
like
I'd
that,
be
you
interested
kind
on
of get
the
a
barrel.
scotchy thing just
You
off the
definitely got
char of the
scotchy.
barrel.
The smoke came out that
Because
back
there's
end. I really
nothing
thought.
like that. Wheat is a player in the game normally.
Yeah, I'd like to
Not
find
the whole
out
thing.
what that barrel was.
that would be that'd be interesting.
You know, the barrel is 80% of everything.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, 100%.
I'd like to know what that barrel was. That's pretty interesting.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for having us today.
Yes.
Thanks for
Thank you,
sharing the
guys.
space.
Really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
hosting us.
Thank you for hosting.
It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. Thanks for sharing your
This
juice
is
with
our
us.
only second ever location podcast that we've ever
Oh.
come and done. So
Well,
thank you
you-
so much for accommodating us.
Anytime you do a podcast with us, it's on
Booth,
you right here.
let's do a blind leading the blind, and out there, stay classy, bourbon drinkers.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Here's the community.
Cheers to everybody. Thank you. Thank you, community, industry, consumers, everything. I really appreciate your support and your commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.